Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you were there, or struggled to recall a name you know you should remember? For many people, especially busy professionals and adults over 40, these moments feel unsettling. They raise a quiet question. Is my brain just getting older, or is something else going on? Here's what might surprise you. Research suggests that small, everyday food choices can influence how your brain functions over time. Not overnight, not dramatically, but gradually and meaningfully. And one food keeps showing up in brain health research more than most people expect: blueberries. But this isn't about calling them a superfood or promising miracles. It's about understanding what actually happens in your brain when blueberries become a daily habit, and why timing, consistency, and context matter more than most headlines ever explain. Brain changes don't suddenly appear in old age. Research shows they begin quietly years earlier, often during midlife, when mental fatigue, slower recall, or difficulty concentrating start to feel more common. These shifts are usually subtle, which is why many people ignore them or assume they're unavoidable. But science suggests that lifestyle factors, especially diet, play a meaningful role in how the brain ages over time. This video isn't about preventing disease, reversing conditions, or making medical promises. It's about supporting the brain's normal biology using food choices that are already well-studied and widely accessible. Blueberries are one of the most researched fruits in nutrition science, particularly in studies related to memory, inflammation, and brain signaling. The insights you'll hear are drawn from peer-reviewed research and expert guidance discussed by organizations like the National Institutes of Health, Harvard Health Publishing, and Mayo Clinic. Everything here is practical, evidence-based, and designed to fit into real life. No supplements, no extreme diets, and no exaggerated claims. One of the most important ways blueberries may support brain health is by helping protect brain cells from oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is a normal process that happens in the body every day, especially during periods of high mental demand, poor sleep, or chronic stress. Over time, excessive oxidative stress can damage brain cells and interfere with how neurons communicate with each other. Blueberries are rich in anthocyanins, the natural pigments that give them their deep blue color. These compounds act as antioxidants, meaning they help neutralize free radicals before they can damage sensitive brain tissue. Research discussed by Harvard Health and supported by studies indexed on PubMed suggests that diets higher in anthocyanin-rich foods are associated with slower cognitive decline, particularly in older adults. What makes this especially relevant is that the brain is highly vulnerable to oxidative damage because it uses a large amount of oxygen and energy. By regularly consuming blueberries, you may help reinforce the brain's natural defense systems. This isn't an immediate effect, but a cumulative one, built gradually through consistent daily intake rather than occasional consumption. Another key area where daily blueberry consumption may benefit the brain is memory and learning. Memory relies on efficient communication between brain cells, especially in regions like the hippocampus, which plays a central role in forming and retrieving memories. As we age, this communication can become less efficient, contributing to slower recall and learning. Research suggests that compounds in blueberries may help support this process. Studies cited by sources such as Healthline and Harvard Health, including human trials involving older adults, have found associations between regular blueberry intake and improvements in certain aspects of memory and cognitive performance. Researchers believe this may be due to blueberries' ability to enhance neuronal signaling and support synaptic plasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and form new connections. In everyday terms, this may translate to remembering names more easily, staying mentally organized, or learning new information with less effort over time. Importantly, these effects are most often observed with consistent intake over weeks or months, not from occasional servings. Blueberries appear to work best as part of a regular routine, supporting memory gradually rather than producing dramatic short-term changes. Chronic inflammation is another factor researchers closely link to brain aging and cognitive decline. While inflammation is part of the body's natural defense system, ongoing low-grade inflammation can become harmful over time, especially in the brain. It may interfere with neuron function, disrupt signaling pathways, and contribute to mental fatigue and slower processing speed. Studies suggest that blueberries may help moderate this process. The anthocyanins and other polyphenols found in blueberries appear to influence inflammatory pathways in the body, helping reduce markers of inflammation that are associated with cognitive aging. Research discussed by the National Institutes of Health and summarized in nutrition reviews on PubMed indicates that diets rich in plant-based polyphenols are associated with better brain health outcomes. This matters because brain inflammation doesn't usually cause obvious symptoms at first. Instead, it quietly builds over years. By regularly including blueberries in the diet, you may help support a healthier inflammatory balance in the brain. Again, the benefit isn't immediate or dramatic. It's the result of consistent, long-term dietary habits that help protect brain function as we age. Healthy blood flow is essential for brain function. Every thought, memory, and decision depends on a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients delivered through blood vessels. As we age, blood vessel function can gradually decline, which may reduce circulation to certain brain regions and affect focus, processing speed, and mental stamina. Research suggests that blueberries may help support vascular health, including blood flow to the brain. The polyphenols found in blueberries, particularly flavonoids, are known to support the flexibility and function of blood vessels. Studies referenced by Harvard Health and summarized by WebMD indicate that regular consumption of flavonoid-rich foods is associated with improved endothelial function, the ability of blood vessels to widen and respond to demand. In practical terms, better blood flow may support mental clarity during demanding tasks, reduce feelings of brain fatigue, and help maintain cognitive performance over time. These effects are typically subtle and build gradually with consistent intake. This is another reason blueberries are studied as part of long-term dietary patterns rather than short-term interventions. They support the systems that keep the brain well-fueled, not instant stimulation. At this point, most people assume that simply eating blueberries regularly is enough, but research suggests there's an overlooked detail that can quietly determine whether you actually get these brain benefits, and it has nothing to do with buying organic, eating more, or choosing a specific variety. Here's the counterintuitive part. In many studies, the positive effects of blueberries appear strongest when they're part of an overall diet that supports stable blood sugar and low inflammation. When blueberries are consistently paired with highly refined sugars, ultra-processed foods, or frequent blood sugar spikes, their protective effects may be significantly reduced. This is a common mistake. People add blueberries to sweetened yogurts, pastries, or sugar-heavy smoothies, believing they're making a brain-healthy choice, without realizing the surrounding context matters. The blueberry isn't the problem, it's what competes with its benefits. And here's the key tease. There's one simple habit researchers consistently see in people who gain the most cognitive benefit from blueberries. It doesn't require restriction, counting, or elimination. That insight is next, and it changes how you should think about daily blueberry intake altogether. The most valuable insight from the research is this: blueberries support brain health best when they're consumed consistently and within a balanced whole food dietary pattern. Studies don't show benefits because blueberries act as a standalone solution, but because they contribute to a broader environment that supports brain function. That environment includes stable blood sugar, lower chronic inflammation, and healthy blood flow. Research on dietary patterns, including Mediterranean-style and plant-forward diets discussed by the NIH and Harvard Health, consistently links these conditions to better cognitive aging. Blueberries fit naturally into this framework because their polyphenols work alongside other nutrients, rather than overpowering poor dietary habits. This approach is especially relevant for adults over 40 and people under high mental stress, where small daily choices compound over time. However, moderation still matters. Blueberries contain natural sugars, and individuals managing blood sugar conditions should pay attention to portion size and food pairing. The takeaway isn't to eat more blueberries, it's to eat them wisely, consistently, and as part of a supportive nutritional context that allows their benefits to unfold gradually. To bring everything together, there are 3 key ideas to remember. First, daily blueberry consumption may support brain health by helping protect brain cells, supporting memory and learning, reducing inflammation, and improving blood flow, but these effects build slowly over time. Second, the benefits seen in research come from consistency and context, not from treating blueberries as a quick fix or a standalone solution. And third, how you eat them matters just as much as how often you eat them. A simple, realistic next step is to add a small serving of blueberries to a balanced meal a few times a week and observe how it fits into your routine. No pressure, no extremes. If you found this breakdown helpful, let me know in the comments what surprised you most. And for more calm, science-backed health insights you can trust, consider subscribing.